Hello Broducers, it's Ozgun here. In this tutorial, I'm gonna show you how we made our collaboration for the Lady Gaga Bloody Mary Techno Bootleg remix. And today I like to show you the track channel by channel and explain how we made this track. And if you're ready, let's get into the tutorial. So first of all, maybe I can quickly show you the track just in case if you didn't listen it. And you can find the track on my socials, my YouTube, my SoundCloud. Unfortunately, the track is not on Spotify because this is an unofficial bootleg. So yeah, let me quickly show you the track.
Love is just a history that they may prove, and when you're gone, I'll tell them my religion. See, when punctures comes to kill the king upon his throne, I'm ready for their stones. I'll dance, dance, dance with my hands, hands, hands above my head, 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 like Jesus said. Dance, dance, dance with my hands, hands, hands.
Okay, I'm gonna start explaining the track by starting from the first drop. And probably the most common question was how we made the kick and bass. So this is the kick, and actually I made the kick by myself. And if you don't know how to make kicks, I already have a full dedicated tutorial on how to make kicks in Serum and how to process it. So this kick is just made in Serum and I processed it inside of the FL Studio. Actually, like, if I deactivate the processing, the kick is like that. Pretty punchy, pretty decent, but I give a little bit of disperser to, shape the low frequencies. And I just dip a little bit of very annoying frequency in here. And just saturate it to, shape the kick a little bit and make it more big, more dirty. And other than that, we got a top kick in here, which was actually a full kick from the Broducers school. But we decided to just use the transient of it, but also just cut the low frequencies. And as you see, it just gives the kick more life, more presence. And if we go to the sub, the rumble, this is the rumble. It was a little bit luck because this sound is just the kick sound I find on Splice. And I decided to just use the last part of it. Even as you see, I just use some certain specific frequency, just certain specific length. And I process it like that. I give a little bit of mid frequencies, mid boost. Some EQ to shape it, because this sound wasn't prepared to be a rumble, to be bass sound. It was just a tail of a kick sample, but in order to use it as a main bass, I needed to process it. And it was a little bit rumbling, noisy. I just cut. And then just a final tweak. The track is on A, the note of A. That's why I needed to just boost a little bit of A in the 110 Hz to give the bass more warmth or punch or maybe depth. I don't know how to express it. But yeah, with all the processing, the kick and rumble sounds like this. And already sounds so full, so powerful. But in order to get a groove, we needed to have some rolling bass and some texture. And the rolling bass is made by my Behringer TD3. In the track, in the second part of the first row, we have the acid part. So this sound is actually one of the acid one-shots. And maybe without processing, it sounds more acid. Yeah, that was just a portion. As you see, this is just a portion of the 303 acid sound, like the same sound, same stem, but I just got one shot of it and processed it to make it as my rolling bass. This is the distortion, just doing nothing. But yeah, the SD plugin gives a really nice character, even though you don't touch the parameters. Some very weird EQ. Yeah, I usually don't do this kind of EQs, but in this case, it just adds a lot to the track. Other than that, this filter is for automation purposes. We got isotope trash in the clip control, but it's not on the full mix, so it's just blending the original signal to add a bit clipping and also some distortion to make the sound more fat. And lastly, some dip, not to sound boxy, just a side chain. But lastly, we needed to add more texture, more warmth to the bass, and we just have this very basic soft sound. It's heavily sidechained and just adding some texture. Yeah guys, very basic sound, but it's needed to make the sound, the low end, much more fuller. And other than that, we got this crackling sound to give some texture. Very small detail, but adding too much to the sound. And other than that, the low and the kick bass are just that, like that, just 5 channels. And they are complementing each other. And yeah, the first drop doesn't contain, the first part of the first drop doesn't contain that much stuff. We got the vocals, maybe we can talk about the vocals.
Dance, dance, dance with my hands, hands above my head.
I find the vocals in a YouTube video. You know, if you search the name Lady Gaga Bloody Mary official instrumental vocal stamps a cappella hidden vocals. If you search this, I find a perfect YouTube video. It has, like, if you see, it has all the stamps for the track. I don't know how that channel got those sounds, but it was perfect. At first, I was using some extracted a cappella, and it was very low quality. But just finding the stamps or like the multi-tracks of the channel, and it was perfect because I also used several other sounds in the track as well. So for the processing, this was the vocal without processing.
Dance, dance, dance with my hands.
So nothing special, but in order to make it more techno, fit it more into an EDM song, we just processed it a little bit. We got saturation, we got EQ, we got more EQ, some filter, delay reverb. And this Pro L was really important. Like, as you see in here, I'm choosing 1:1. And if you choose that, and if you make the settings like this can be like a maximizer or like a kind of brick wall limiter or even maybe a hard clipper. And it's just boosting the sound as much as it can. It's just killing the dynamic range, but doing it very transparently. And with using that, I can boost whatever sound I'm using in this plugin. I can just boost it really much. And after that, just some coloring EQ and OTT to, glue whole chain and some side chain. That's it for, I don't even put any reverb because the vocal itself was already processed. All I needed to EQ, a little bit of compression, a little bit of side chain, and yeah, that's all. And if we go further, we can see that we got some one-shot sounds in the drop. Maybe I can show them to you with playing the drop low end. Just a serum one-shot sound and just hitting several times in a track to add some texture, add some variation. And we got more one-shot sounds. This was a synth loop, but we decided to use only some one-shot portion of it. And other than that, we got just sweeps and some FX sounds for the first drop. Just a step sound, nothing special. Some white noise, some sweep down. This should be the drop fill. And let's go talk about the drums. So this is the hi-hat I'm using. just a layer of 2 different hi-hats. And other than that, we got some top loops. And as you see, like, these loops are pretty much cutted and very cleaned. They are just giving the texture, they are just giving the groove of the track. And this is the open hat I'm using. To get the very distorted big open head sound, I needed to give it some saturation, some EQ, and I was using Suit, just to clean the resonating frequencies. Recently started to use this plugin a lot, and yeah, with all the drums, the drop sounds like that. And lastly, we got some synth shots. As I remember, I rendered those sounds from Nexus 3. So in the second part of the first drop, we are having some vocal shots. Because. So first thing, this is just a cut from the original vocal, but the sound wasn't exactly in key. To put it in key, I put the Waves real-time tune, but you can use Newton as well in this kind of situations, just to, make the key, the pitch more sharp. And there's some delay, some beat crash, one of my recent favorite reverb plugins, Reach. And again, the maximizing trick that I'm using, and others are just Endless Smile for automation purposes. And again, no crazy processing, just the beat crash and also Endless Smile, making this beautiful effect on the vocal. There's 2 parts on the first drop. Like in the second part, we are introducing the 303 sound, which actually made by again the Behringer TD3. I made it on the analog device, but there is a really cool trick on it. So I sampled all the notes in the Behringer TD3, and actually I sampled them with low velocity and high velocity. You can call it accent. I don't know how to pronounce it. So I just rendered 2 different possibilities for almost all the notes in 1 octave, and I just drag drop all the sounds inside of the direct wave. So I created this direct wave instrument, and also I did like that. If you place the MIDI with low velocity, it's gonna play the no accent render of the TD3, Behringer TD3. But if you give it velocity, it's gonna be a different sound. So you can program direct wave like that. And also, yeah, in sometimes future, I'm planning to also share this sound and also show you how to make it. So it's like that. This is the sound. So if I deactivate the processing, so this is the low velocity. But if I just pass some level, as you see, you can have 2 different sounds with direct wave, and you can use direct wave as an synth, like a VST instrument. And with using that, we come up with this acid 303 pattern. Let me show you the processing. Actually, the processing, I just copy one of the Medic's master classes because his 303 sounds always perfect and always amazed me. So I decided to use kinda his processing on this one. Just some EQ to clean some frequencies. The thermal to give a texture. Maybe I can show it to you one by one. The stage 1 is giving some stereo separation. Some more EQ. This is just for filtering purposes. We got Echo Boy for delay. And we got 2 reverbs. As I said, just as the Medic's tutorial, I exactly followed his chain. And other than that, 1 more EQ. And then we got some OTT to glue hold the chain. As you see, I'm taking away most of the power from the 303 sounds because we already have a so powerful bass line. And even the bass line rolling bass also contains the 303 sound. I needed to separate them. So yeah, you can see that like with this EQ, maybe the 303 becomes less powerful, but in the mix, in the full context, it just becomes so much powerful because now it's fitting so perfectly without, clashing with other sounds in the low region especially. And this wasn't enough, so we switched to another channel to even process more. And in here, we got this Pro again for maximizing, just boosting it with Clipper and then sidechaining it. And with this processing, we got a very cool 303 pattern in here. Just going to the end of the first drop, we are introducing some of the stems from the track that I find.
I won't cry for you, I won't crucify
the main vocals, and also this was back vocals.
I won't cry for you, I won't crucify.
And other than that, we got more sounds from the original track. So we decided to keep the original vibe with using the original sounds.
The things you do.
And there's no processing, just the sidechain and cleaning the low end. And after first drop, we got this pre-drop sound. That sound is from the Broducers school, again the Inferno 2 as I remember. Very decent sound. And let's go to the break section now. So in the break, again we have the vocals, we got the same sounds from the original track. And beneath, we are introducing some of the techno elements, such as this, very tension arp. And as you see, the ARP is opening in terms of cutoff filter in time. And we have the bass also following the chords. And other than that, we got pads. Very basic strings just to maintain the main atmosphere. And we got more ambience atmosphere sounds on the background. And yeah, there's nothing crazy on the breakdown, to be honest. Just ARP, pads, atmosphere sounds, and mostly it's carrying by the vocal. And if we go to the second build-up, Again, nothing crazy, the risers, the snare build-ups, and just fading out all the break elements while we are fading in the main drop leads, the second drop leads. Yeah, I love this lead sound. As you see, kick, bass, everything same, but we are introducing a new approach for the track and just bringing this Bigroom Techno lead sound. And the sound is a serum sound. It's without processing. It's just a very basic soul lead. And if I activate the processing one by one, we got EQ, DST, just boosting a bit high frequencies. I have intensity VST, this plugin just shaping the sound a little bit. It's very subtle change, but I like to use it sometimes on my lead sounds. I got this EQ, just cutting some resonating frequencies. This is for filter. I think this is for delay reverb, but I'm using this patch for only for the delay. I'm putting the reverb from Reach, my favorite Neve reverb plugin. Let's check. We got OTT, we got Isotope Trash to clip and give some saturation. And in the next channel, we have the bit crash, but it's only for automation purposes. Just another EQ. And other than that, I think there is nothing Neve, no Neve elements in the second drop. All we have is the same low ends, same noises, same bass shots, whatever we have, but just replacing the main idea, main approach with the Neve Bigroom Techno lead. And it sounds like that when I play the full. And in the last part, we are introducing the main vocals again. So yeah guys, this was the track. For the mastering, actually this project doesn't contain the mastered version of it because we mastered it on a separate project. I was experimenting some stuff as I remember, but I cannot find the project now. So there wasn't much difference. As you see in the project, the released version are kind of similar in terms of the, the character, the loudness. And yeah, that was it. So today I show you how we made our Bloody Mary remix bootleg, and I hope you can apply these tricks to your own productions as well. Today that was it guys. See you on the next video. Bye bye.